You already go to a wedding and you hear about the bride is Bridezilla because she's making unreasonable demands or things like that. Well, sometimes it's not the bride that's the Godzilla or Bridezilla. Sometimes it's the maid of honor who's the maid of honorzilla. Brian and Jennifer Butler never forget their wedding day. And this was happening, guess where? Florida. Because why not? Now, Amanda Willis, she was the maid of honor for this couple, and she took the focus away from their happy day by getting arrested for numerous charges, including larceny, battery, grand theft of a motor vehicle, and to top off the cake, a violation of probation.
Well, at least it wasn't masturbation.
If it had been
actually, she exposed herself to EMTs and doctors, I guess. So I don't know. There might have been some.
Yeah, there might have been some of that. She apparently, while she was there, she drank up an entire ball of Fireball. I don't know if you've ever had that shit before. I've tasted that.
It's cinnamon.
Yeah, it's very cinnamony. And she fucking downed a whole bottle of that by herself. That speaks a lot to how strong her constitution is, I guess. But apparently
she's motivated.
She's definitely motivated. Apparently,
exactly.
She was apparently drunk in about 20 minutes or half an hour later. That's when the Bridemaidzilla allegedly set the standard for it would be hard for future inappropriate wedding members to top. Apparently, she took the groom's car keys right from his pocket. Could you imagine that? The bridemaid walking up to like the groom and say, "I'm gonna start fishing around in his pockets while the bride is standing there." That's not a good way to be on your new wife's side. The bride is like, "Hey, what is she doing? I don't know. She's just fishing in my pockets. Okay, I'll just let her do that." No, you don't do that. Don't do that. And then once she got the car keys, she attempted to drive with his car, take off with the car, apparently. She almost ran over him, which is the groom. According to the arrest affidavit obtained by the Huffington Post, she drove towards the parking lot where the groom was. Hanging out of the passenger side door, he managed to stop the car by grabbing the emergency brake. Other guests wrestled her out of the car and back into the reception area.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Me either.
And while she was inside, she grabbed a bottle of Captain Morgan. There's so much alcohol at this party. Fireball and Captain Morgan. Here in Wisconsin, we have a lot of alcohol. Florida, you just put every wedding I've ever been to shame. I'm sorry, you just put every wedding I've been to shame. She grabbed the bottle of Captain Morgan, guzzled it down.
Nobody could stop her?
I don't know if anybody wanted to try, so I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Pick up the chair.
Yeah. Now, apparently she banged her head against the divider inside the squad car, so this way she makes it look like she got assaulted, I'm sure, which is a thing that people do sometimes. When the squad car got to the jail, she claimed that she's having an asthma attack, lay down in the back of the car, shaking if she was having a seizure. That's not how an asthma attack works. You don't start shaking it.
She drank 2 bottles of liquor. Of course she's having a fucking heart attack.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry.
To mention what Connie was mentioning there, she did allegedly expose herself to 2 of the EMTs, one of which was over 65 and probably thanked her. She kicked over a bedpan. I'm hoping it wasn't full. I don't know why they mentioned it, unless it was full.
She had 2 bottles of alcohol. Of course there was pee in it.
It probably was.
And blood.
And blood. Yeah, and she was charged with grand theft of the auto, 2 counts of battery on an officer or a firefighter. They're not really clear here. Battery on a person of 65 years or older, intentional battery, petty larceny, and the first degree and violation of the probation, which I mentioned earlier. She remains behind bars in lieu of a $25,000 bail. You can sit in jail for that kind of cash, lady. You are not worth it. You are just not worth it. Connie, your thoughts?
Oh, I have too many. I obsessed on this story. I looked up all of her priors, and there was assault and battery, crime and mischief, violation of pretrial related things, grand theft, failure to appear or bond, trespassing, criminal registration and then our present one. You know, I looked at one of her. I actually looked up one of the places she was arrested at, and there's like boarded up windows on the house, and it's listed. I'm just thinking, wow, this gal's a really, really hot mess. Now, here's my question. Here's my big question. Why is she the maid of honor?
Well, that's exactly what I said. I would give her, you know, to her credit, she managed to talk the bride into having her the maid of honor. I mean, what was maid of honor with that kind of history?
I don't have much respect for the bride at this point, then, because if she's allowed herself to be scammed by this woman to be the maid of honor, maybe she threatened her. Maybe it's like, if you don't make me the maid of honor, I will show up and I will ruin your wedding. So,
or maybe the bride wanted to divert attention from herself.
Yes.
She's worried that she was going to get drunk and make an idiot of herself. So she's thinking, I'll get her to come along, and anything stupid that I do, she will just blow out of the water and nobody will even notice me.
Okay, I guess. No, see, I say that this person is one of her old drinking buddies. I also suspect, I'm just going to throw this out there, you know, doing my best Barney Miller or whatever, you know, Barney Miller, but doing my best, you know, Perry Mason. I suspect that making her the maid of honor was better because she could keep her clothes, because maybe there was something that happened with the husband to be with this gal.
She made him honor so she keep an eye on her?
Yep. Yep. I don't think we'll ever find this out, but I just like, oh my God, this stinks to the high heaven in so many ways. It's so weird when you look at it.
It's very, very weird. Very weird.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
Tom, you have any more other thoughts on this?
No, it's just that I know people like this, unfortunately. I've seen what they do. I can't imagine anyone topping this kind of fiasco, but I've known people that have gone nearly this far. But now we're bridesmaid. Normally they're just one of the guests.
Yeah.
So maybe the bride thought, if I have her in the wedding party, maybe she might control herself a little bit more, and just completely blew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do feel sorry for the bride. If this is her best friend, she needs to elevate.
You've got to see this picture. You have got to see this picture. This lady, she does not look like, well, they took the picture of her in jail. She looks like she's still about 10,000 sheets to the wind in this. There'll be a link here below.
I will say that's her worst. That's her worst photo. Her that she took for this, because I've looked at all 8 others and it's like, oh yeah, she's really out of it in this one, or down in the mouth.
Does anyone notice that her eyes seem a little bit far apart?
Yeah. I know that too.
Mm-hmm. Blame Florida.
Blame Florida.